Let's play some basketball.
Michael Jordan is a legendary American basketball player who won 2 Olympic gold medals and 6 NBA championships. Despite the fact that the athlete ended his professional career 20 years ago, he still earns more than active basketball players. In this video, we will tell you how he achieved this.
Do we have to?
Yeah, it's part of the deal. Touch the ball.
Michael Jordan, how the richest basketball player lives and what he spends his billions on. Michael Jeffrey Jordan was born on February 17, 1963 in Brooklyn, New York, in a typical large family. It's worth noting that the parents of the future athlete, James and Dolores, met during a basketball match. The athlete has 2 brothers and 2 sisters. Shortly after Michael was born, the family moved to Wallace, where his father worked as a loader operator at a factory and his mother worked as a bank clerk. Over time, both parents were promoted and the family was able to buy a house on the coast. By the way, Jordan is terrified of water. In childhood, the boy witnessed how his friends died in the water, and at the age of 11, he almost drowned himself. Even though the Jordans were well off, the children still helped their parents by working part-time in their spare time. Everyone except Michael. Michael was lazy, dodged household chores, received average grades at school, and had discipline issues. The only thing the boy showed dedication to was sports. From an early age, he had a passion for baseball, dreaming of becoming a famous pitcher. His hard training paid off. At age 12, Michael reached the Little League Finals with his junior high school team, later became state champion, and was named Best Player. He was expected to have a great future in baseball, but as a teenager, Michael turned his attention to basketball. This sport was the most popular game among African American kids at the time. Jordan's older brother, Larry, was a real star on the high school basketball team, and looking at his brother's success, Michael didn't want to fall behind. Notably, at the time, the future NBA legend was short, so coaches didn't want to put him on the high school team. But instead of giving up, Jordan started training even harder, honing the jump that made up for his small stature. Michael's parents supported their son in his endeavors, so his father built a basketball court in the backyard of their house where Michael often practiced with his older brother. He played point guard on the junior high school team for several years, where he scored 28 points per game, which was an excellent result. At the same time, Jordan played football and competed in track and field while keeping up his baseball training. By 11th grade, Michael had grown to 6'1" and was finally accepted onto the high school basketball team. Larry Jordan played number 45 and Michael chose number 23, explaining that he wanted to become at least half as good an athlete as his older brother. By the way, he played this number for most of his career. Jordan was a power forward, and in order to stay on the team, he had to improve his grades. He was especially good at math and other science. Even then, many prestigious universities and colleges took note of the promising athlete. The University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill was the most persistent. In the summer of 1981, Michael became a student at the university, accepting a basketball scholarship. The young man majored in cultural geography. Their basketball team was considered one of the strongest in the United States at the time. Under coach Dean Smith, Jordan started as a shooting guard and was soon included in the starting 5 of the university team. In the 1981-82 season, Michael was named the best newcomer in the conference, and in the final game, he became a real hero when, during the last minutes of the tied game, he twice got his team to lead. Moreover, his last shot brought the winning points and the championship title. Jordan later described this shot as the major turning point in his basketball career. In 1983, he became a member of the U.S. national basketball team. Michael traveled with the team to the Pan American Games in Caracas, where he won gold and was voted most productive player. In 1984, as a member of the U.S. team, Jordan went to the Summer Olympics in Los Angeles, where he also won gold and was named best player of the Olympic tournament. That same year, his performance in the university season was excellent. After winning the Undergraduate Player of the Year award, he dropped out to enter the NBA draft. However, Jordan later resumed his education and received his bachelor's degree in 1986. Michael was selected number 3 by the Chicago Bulls in the 1984 NBA draft. In his first season, he had a strong showing and was in the starting 5 of the NBA All-Star Game. Jordan quickly became a crowd favorite and after just 1 month of his professional career, appeared on the cover of Sports Illustrated with the headline, "A Star is Born." In the same year, Michael signed a 5-year advertising contract with Nike, under which he received $500,000 a year, plus company stock, which amounted to a total of $7 million. At that time, it was the largest deal in history. The black and red Air Jordan sneakers were designed specifically for the basketball player in the Chicago Bulls uniform colors. However, the NBA banned this model because the color scheme was too prominent. It was widely reported that Jordan continued to play in banned shoes, and Nike paid $5,000 in fines for every NBA game. However, there is no evidence that the athlete has ever appeared on the court in red and black sneakers in official games. So it could just be a PR move that worked great. More than 1 million pairs were sold in 2 months alone. Michael's popularity had a downside. The increased attention to his person led to bullying. During the game, his more experienced teammates refused to pass the ball to the rising star and ignored him in every way. Nevertheless, Jordan was able to withstand the pressure and won the NBA Rookie of the Year award at the end of the season. He also ranked 3rd in scoring and was among the second top 5 players in the association. The basketball player's annual salary was $550,000. By the way, having become a recognized celebrity, Michael himself started bullying his colleagues. He arranged late-night parties to keep his teammates in bad shape at practice, bribed the maids to start vacuuming at night, and even blackmailed the coaching staff just to remove from the lineup a player he didn't like. In the 1985-86 season, Michael missed 64 games due to a foot injury. However, once he recovered, he was able to set a still unbeaten record. He scored 63 points in a playoff game against the Boston Celtics. His annual salary at the time was $630,000. Interestingly enough, during every NBA game he played, Jordan would wear his UNC practice shorts under his Chicago Bulls jersey for good luck. He also had another pregame routine. Before every game, Michael ate the same meal: steak with baked potatoes, lettuce, and ginger ale. The following season, the basketball player became one of the highest scoring players in NBA history. He also became the second, after Wilt Chamberlain, to score 3,000 points in a season and the first to manage 200 steals and 100 block shots in the same time frame. Despite these achievements, the title of Most Valuable Player of the League went to Magic Johnson of the Los Angeles Lakers, who, by the way, is idolized by Michael. In that 1 year, the athlete earned $737,000. In the 1987-88 season, Michael was named the league's top scorer and best defensive player, and also managed to win the title of Most Valuable Regular Season Player for the first time. His annual salary at the time was $845,000. The next season, however, it rose to $2 million. Interestingly enough, during games in other cities, the athlete often had to stay in hotels, and to avoid media attention, he booked rooms under the name of Leroy Smith. That was the name of the guy who got on the school basketball team in 10th grade instead of Michael. In the 1989-90 season, Michael became captain of the team, which at the time had just added young, ambitious players. The Chicago Bulls advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals, but lost there to the Detroit Pistons for the 3rd season in a row. At the end of the season, Michael earned $2.25 million. That's also when Jordan got married for the first time. His fiancée was Juanita Vanoy, who worked as a loan officer. The basketball player was introduced to the girl by a mutual friend in 1985. The young people decided to go on a date just for fun, and they realized that they were comfortable together. 2 years after they met, Michael proposed to his beloved, but the wedding did not take place until 1989. At that time, Juanita had already given birth to Jordan's son, Jeffrey, and after they got married, they added another son, Marcus, and a daughter, Jasmine, to the family. By the way, both of his sons tried to follow in their father's footsteps, but without much success, and the daughter became a brand manager. The 1990-91 season was very successful for Michael. For the first time ever, the Chicago Bulls advanced to the NBA Finals, where they defeated the Los Angeles Lakers. Holding the trophy, Jordan couldn't hold back tears. Jordan was not only the most valuable player of the regular season, but also of the NBA Finals. His annual salary was $2.5 million. The following season, the Chicago Bulls won the championship again, and Michael was named Most Valuable Player of the NBA regular season and finals, earning $3.25 million. That's when the basketball player became famous for his eyes-closed free throws. This was a trick Jordan used to taunt his opponents, and sometimes he even used insults to break their spirits. One day he shouted to 5'3" Muggsy Bogues, "Shoot the ball." After that, he missed the shot entirely, and a year later he admitted that he was still afraid to throw from a distance. In one game of the final series, Jordan set a scoring record, including 6 3-pointers, and for his fantastic leaping ability, he was nicknamed his Airness. During the same period, Michael went to the American Basketball Championship as a member of the U.S. national team, and his team won. After that, the team took part in the Summer Olympics in Barcelona, where it won gold. Interestingly enough, at the awards ceremony, Jordan stood on the podium wrapped in the American flag that covered the Reebok logo on the national team uniform. The reason for this was the athlete's contract with Nike. In the 1992-93 season, the Chicago Bulls won the championship again. But Michael, despite his excellent stats, lost the award for Most Valuable Player of the regular season to his friend Charles Barkley. Meanwhile, Jordan topped the league's list of most prolific players for the 7th consecutive time. His annual salary was $4 million. In October 1993, Michael announced his retirement, citing a loss of interest in basketball. Another reason for this decision was the death of his father. James Jordan was robbed and murdered by 2 teenagers. By the way, while Jordan Sr. was a supportive figure for Michael, for his sister Dolores, he was a molester. The girl released a book, In My Family's Shadow, in which she recounted the horror she had endured for years, while her mother had asked her not to tell anyone about it. During that time, the athlete was spotted at the casino where he lost a substantial sum of money. Later, his gambling buddy, Richest wrote a book in which he revealed that he had won $1.25 million from Michael in golf. In an interview, Jordan admitted to his gambling addiction. Even when betting with his teammates, he tried to win at all costs. For example, Bulls players like to bet on whose suitcase would appear first on the luggage belt. More often than not, it was Michael who won because he simply bribed airport employees. And once, after losing to a teammate in a ping pong game, he honed his skills for 6 months and challenged the winner to a rematch. With $70,000 at stake, the condition was that both players had to drink 3 beers during the game. Michael triumphed, and only then he admitted that his glass contained apple juice. In 1994, to the surprise of many, Michael signed a contract with the Chicago White Sox baseball team. This way, he wanted to fulfill his late father's dream. During his short career in baseball, Jordan played for the Birmingham Barons and Scottsdale Scorpions, earning $4 million. Meanwhile, without Michael, the Chicago Bulls basketball team began to lose ground. But in 1995, Jordan announced his return to the NBA, earning $3.85 million for the year. However, at first he wore number 45, but by the end of the season, he got his old number 23 back. Remarkably, there was the only time in his career when he didn't wear his number on the court. It happened in 1990 when employees of the sports arena stole his jersey. Frustrated, Michael wanted to play in his fan's jersey, but it didn't fit him and he had to wear a number 12 jersey. In the 1995-96 season, the Chicago Bulls became champions. It was Father's Day, and Jordan, reflecting on his painful loss, could not hold back his tears. At the end of the season, Michael was the league's leader in scoring, the most valuable player of the regular season, the finals, and the All-Star game. His salary at the time was $3.85 million. In 1996, the family movie Space Jam, starring Michael Jordan, was released.
Oh, look out for that first step, Doc. It's a real Lulu.
Bugs Bunny.
You were expecting maybe the Easter Bunny?
You're a cartoon. You're not real.
Later, the athlete appeared in the film He Got Game and the TV series My Wife and Kids as himself. In the 1996-97 season, the Chicago Bulls won the NBA championship again. The final series of the game had 2 memorable moments. In the first game, Michael made his game-winning jump shot right when the buzzer rang. And in Game 5, with the series tied 2-2, Jordan scored 38 points, including the game-winning 3-pointer during the final minute, all despite having a fever due to a virus. This match went down in history as the flu game. At the end of the season, Michael became the most valuable player of the finals for the 5th time. However, he did not receive the award at the All-Star Game, despite becoming the first player to manage a triple-double in All-Star Game history. His annual salary at the time exceeded $30 million. By the way, Jordan was the first athlete in history to receive such a huge sum. The next season, the team won again. At the conclusion of the finals, Michael raised 6 fingers above his head. He led his team to its 6th championship title. It was one of the greatest moments in basketball history. The final game is still considered the highest-rated event on television, garnering the largest television audience in NBA history. By the way, the sneakers he wore during the game were later sold at auction for $2.2 million, a record price for athletic shoes. His annual salary then exceeded $33 million. In January 1999, Jordan announced the end of his career for the 2nd time, but a year later he returned to the NBA, albeit as co-owner and general manager of the Washington Wizards. In 2001, Michael resumed his career as a basketball player, playing for the Washington team. It was a disappointing season as most players were injured, including Jordan. However, he donated his entire $1 million player's salary to the families of the victims of the 9/11 attacks. The 2002-03 season was the final one in Jordan's career. During the last game, Michael received a 4-minute standing ovation. To celebrate the end of his career, the clubs he played for withdrew number 23 from circulation. Subsequently, he entered the Basketball Hall of Fame. Meanwhile, the celebrity's personal life was on everyone's lips. In 2002, his wife filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences, but they reconciled shortly thereafter. But in 2006, there was another scandal. A woman named Carla Naffel admitted that she had been the basketball player's mistress for a long time and that he had paid her $250,000 to keep it secret. The girl even sued Jordan for an additional $5 million she was promised and claimed to have a child with him. However, the DNA test did not confirm paternity and the court sided with Michael. This was not the only case of the athlete's infidelity. He has been rumored to have other affairs, including flings with actress Vanessa Williams, Garcelle Beauvais, Robin Givens, and Gabrielle Union, singer Janet Jackson, as well as several call girls. And even if some of the affair was just speculation, Jordan's marriage was no longer salvageable. At the end of 2006, the divorce process was finalized and Juanita received a $168 million settlement, making it one of the most expensive divorces in history. Over time, the resentment faded, and now the former spouses maintain a good relationship. It should be noted that the famous basketball player never showed respect for women. There was a famous case in the mid-90s when Michael, during a dice game, offered to bet on a night with MTV host Lisa Kennedy, who was present in the room. The perplexed girl managed to persuade the man to change his bet, but she later confessed that she was completely devastated by this treatment. In 2008, Jordan was introduced to Cuban model Yvette Prieto, and 3 years later, Michael proposed to her. In 2013, the couple had a lavish wedding that cost Michael $10 million. Instead of gifts, the athlete asked guests to donate to a charity. This time, the man was more serious about the legal side of the issue and entered into a prenuptial agreement with Prieto under the terms of which she cannot claim his fortune. But in the event of divorce, is entitled to receive $1 million for each year they live together. In 2014, Yvette gave birth to Jordan's twin girls, Isabel and Victoria. After retirement, Michael kept in shape by playing in celebrity charity golf tournaments. He also became interested in motorsports. The basketball legend proved to be a successful businessman. He owns shares in many companies. The man has his own clothing brand, Jordan, 7 restaurants, a car dealership, and other ventures. He also became the owner of the Charlotte Hornets basketball club in 2009. The investment was financially successful, but Michael made many mistakes in management. As a result, the team is currently considered one of the worst in the NBA. To date, the celebrity's net worth has been estimated at $2.2 billion. Jordan crossed the $1 billion threshold in 2014, becoming the first billionaire basketball player. To this day, Michael remains the richest athlete in the world. He currently earns over $120,000 annually just from advertising Jordan sneakers, not to mention advertising contracts with McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Chevrolet, and many others. Michael Jordan had a huge impact on the popularization of basketball worldwide. Numerous books and documentaries have been made about him. For example, the miniseries The Last Dance, released in 2020, broke viewing records in the sports documentary genre. Recently, there was the premiere of the film Air, about the history of the legendary Air Jordan sneakers, which revolutionized the world of sports footwear. And although Michael wasn't involved in the making of the film, he did meet with director Ben Affleck and shared his ideas. In particular, he suggested taking actress Viola Davis for the role of his mother. The basketball player is especially focused on charity, donating between $2 million and $10 million annually. Michael is known to have won a number of lawsuits over the course of his career against companies that used his likeness without permission. All the money the man won, which is about $9 million, was sent to children's charities. Jordan and his family live on Jupiter Island, Florida, in a luxurious mansion. In 2011, he bought the land for $4.8 million and built a huge 28,000 square foot dream home there in 2 years, spending another $7.6 million. In addition to the main house, there are 3 guest houses, a tennis court, a golf course, a garden, and several swimming pools. In 1991, the basketball player bought a property in Highland Park, not far from Chicago, where he built a huge estate where he lived with his first wife and children. The 32,000 square foot main house includes 9 bedrooms, 15 bathrooms, living rooms, a kitchen, a dining room, a wine cellar, a movie theater, a pool room, a basketball court, and a gym. The property has a tennis court, a golf course, a swimming pool, an artificial pond, and a garden. In 2013, Michael put the property up for sale for $29 million, then reduced the price to $14.8 million, but has not yet sold it. The athlete pays $100,000 a year in taxes for this property. In 2013, the athlete bought a lakeside home in Cornelius, North Carolina for $2.8 million. The 12,000 square foot estate includes 6 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms, spacious living rooms, and a studio kitchen, and the property has a private dock not far from this home. Jordan owns a 7,000 square foot condominium apartment. Michael also owns a villa in Park City, Utah. In 2019, he put the house up for sale for $7.5 million. Jordan owns a huge collection of cars that includes Chevrolet Corvette C4 and C5, several Ferrari models, Mercedes-Benz, Porsche 911 and 930, Bentley Continental GT, Aston Martin, Range Rover, Bugatti Veyron, Toyota Land Cruiser, and Cadillac. Michael also owns a $50 million private jet and a 150-foot yacht. He is rightfully considered one of the best basketball players in NBA history. Fans call him the God of basketball. Do you like Michael Jordan? If you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything interesting.